What happened? That was the ending, the ending trailer.
I know.
Um,
We suck.
I know. Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties, but we're gonna work through it. Um, but yeah,
Here it is. I found it.
here it is. You got me. You got Eric.
You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Del Coro.
What is up, my paranormal people? Sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulties here. We're on a new streaming platform, so we're trying to get used to it. But I'm your host, Eric Vanderlaan, of the War Party Paranormal Radio Show and team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And I got my homeboy right over here.
What's up, guys? My name is Mike Del Coro. I'm tech specialist with the War Party Paranormal and case manager and your co-host. And we got a great show for you guys tonight. I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
Yeah, we do. We have a repeat guest, but this time she's just her. We have her all to ourselves, and it's Britt Barbieri. And if you don't know her, she's been on many shows that you might have seen on the Peacock Network, Discovery
Channel.
Plus. But she's into She does it all. She's into UFOs. She's into Bigfoot. She's into snakes. I can't stand snakes. They freak me out. Ghosts are okay, but I don't like snakes. And
What if it
and the
was a ghost
paranormal. In the paranormal, she's an investigator as well. So I'm not going to waste any time. And I made a little intro. So I hope she likes it. I just got to say one thing. I'm real happy that Brit's here, but I see my man Justin T's in the chat, and we haven't seen him for a long time. Justin, welcome back. And also, we got some new people and our normal people who come here all the time, our regulars.
I
Thank you
wouldn't
for
call them
returning.
normal.
They're paranormal. They're not normal.
That's
So
right.
there we go. So I'm not going to waste any time, and I'm going to bring Brit on. Here we go. Hey, Brit.
Hi, how is everybody?
We're doing
Hey, good to
good.
see you.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you guys reached out. I'm happy to be here. I want to apologize for my voice. I'm losing it, so I'll try
That's
to
okay.
really project as best as I can.
No
It's
worries, no
okay.
worries.
But yeah, you've been like very busy since the last time we had you on the show. Um, could you tell the people, like, I know you do everything. You're like very multi-talented. Can you give them like a brief little spiel on what you do?
Yeah, so I started as a paranormal investigator, but I'm also a ufologist that studies UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrial life, etc., etc. And I'm also a cryptozoologist, but my study is, of course, Sasquatch, as you see behind me. He's like my baby. I love him. But yeah, I dabble in all things paranormal because paranormal is like just one giant tree. There's like
Yeah.
so many branches to it.
Hmm.
And so like when I started, it was like, oh wait, that's cool. Oh wait, that's cool. I just couldn't just in just one. Like I kept branching out, and then I found a love for a lot because some of them kind of intertwine and connect in an odd way.
Hmm.
And then there's like just really cool avenues to take, like ancient astronaut theory. I love. Like there's just different things that I branched off into, like giant.
Yeah.
It just is a wormhole. Like it's a
Right?
madhouse.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
The more I know, the better.
some people think it's all tied together, UFOs, Sasquatch, and the paranormal.
Yep.
We got some
Yep.
local boys from Florida. I don't know if you heard of them, Outcast Paranormal.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Stacey Brown Jr. Yeah. Good
yeah,
name. Yep.
yeah, Bigfoot Stacy.
Exactly.
So yeah, and like people are like when they think of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, a lot of people don't know we call it skunk ape down here, but there's Bigfoot up there. I don't know if it's like a hybrid or whatever, but everyone has
It
different
was just another
views.
name that Dave Shealy actually came up with here down south in South
Good old Dave
Florida.
Shealy.
Yep.
Still trying to get him to come on. Britt, help us.
I know. All right. I'll ask him.
No, I'm just teasing.
so Britt, what's your take on the Sasquatch here in Florida? Like, do you like tell us what you've kind of uncovered or any evidence or anything that you because my first go to on it was like, oh, you know what, maybe one of the hurricanes years ago, like some apes got out and maybe they're living out in the wild feral and they just got that's kind of where I go to on it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. So like, what's your theory
Well,
from?
real
I
quick,
don't do a
like
whole lot of
so every
research.
yeah, so real quick, before she starts, like if people, I want them to know this that she has the same type of frame of mind as we do, more of a scientific approach, and
Yeah,
that's the type
cryptozoology.
of yeah, and that's the approach that you have, that we really like. But I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to throw that in there.
I'll forgive you this time.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Mike.
Hey now, guys. Hey now, guys. No, I agree. I mean, the interesting thing is like one of the first photographs that we have of our skunk ape. It looks so much like an orangutan, and we
Hmm.
knew that there were hurricane damage, and we did have a lot of zoological parks that did have a lot of their primates that did escape, and they do believe that that is probably most likely an orangutan. However, if you do the study of what Sasquatch lineage actually is, they believe it to come from the Gigantopithecus. Well, the Gigantopithecus lineage is attached to the orangutan line. So it is very
Okay.
hard for me to separate and go, oh, I don't see how they're connected when we know that something so large did exist. It's hard for me to
Hmm.
believe that it can't still. And primates and primates, they make it work in the wild. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
that's what I was going to ask you. Like, can there be like a hybrid species of primates? Like, could like
We're
if an
probably gonna have a hybrid of pythons with the amount that we have out here.
it's true.
right? But like if you had like I don't know an orangutan and maybe like some other kind of monkey or something that got it on, like would they produce something or would it just not happen?
It just depends. I'm not really sure what would take, because Florida doesn't even, like, let's just say Florida alone. We don't have monkeys. Like, we don't have primates.
Right.
But I don't know if we go back several thousands of years ago, what type of animals we had lurking here in Florida at the time that,
Hmm.
these certain species would have existed. But, I mean, when it comes to like the primate line lineage, you're going to have a lot of offshoots and interbreeding and hybrid. And, um, oh, shoot. I can't think. I just totally lost the word. Hybrids, excuse me. Because if you think about even up north where the polar bear region is connecting with the grizzlies, we're
Hmm.
getting crossovers with those as well. And
Really?
we're getting
Right.
these amazing new species, which it saddens me that we're killing them and not realizing it before we realize what it is,
Hmm.
because it's a rarity. So, I'm on the fence of, as they call it, an aper. Like, it's such a funny
Hmm.
term. but I am on the more of the aper side. However, I still think that things have to evolve to adapt and exist and make it work. So I can't say that Gigantopith hasn't evolved into what we know as Sasquatch and Bigfoot. For me, if you can follow a line trail through history, there's truth to it. That's that's enough for me. When there's just too much historical facts to it, and a lot of stuff is so shoved under the rugs. We have
Mm-hmm.
hair samples. We have possible actual DNA, but no one wants to talk about it. But we do have that,
Right.
and I mean, so it's like we know it exists, we know it's out there, but it's the same thing I tell to people when they're like, well, where's the bones? And, where's, how come it always is like in and out so fast? And I
Mm-hmm.
understand that. But when it comes to bones, many animals in the forest actually bury themselves. Bears. There's a lot of animals that bury. There's a lot of animals that bury prey.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think if it's a kill or if it's a natural death. We have scavenger animals that are going to come take what they want, and everything's going to be in bits and pieces. So what might
Right.
look like a bear to you if you find it could have actually been something else. But we're just so keen to quickly just disprove everything to be like, that we know what that is. But what if it isn't? So we might have missed
That's
opportunities.
true. Like if you have somebody that's like walking along the woods and they see a couple bones and they're like, "Oh, they're bear bones," they're not going to get it analyzed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Exactly.
true.
Yeah. So it's or even deer carcasses, there's a lot that could be, everything gets really sprown about. And I mean, bobcats, mountain lions, things like that, they're known sometimes to bury and take their food and stash it for later. So you
Mm-hmm.
just don't know what they might pull, what's left and remain. So, everybody thinks, oh, we would have found it by now. We've been through every forest, but like in Washington,
Mm-hmm.
60% of the mountain range has never had a single human footprint step in it.
Oh wow.
So think of the percentage that we're talking about.
Yeah.
What areas, even in our Everglades, that, my God, I love animals, but I don't know if I'd be, chest deep in some of that water.
Well,
You
we're
know,
discovering stuff now that we didn't even thought would exist. They're like, I
exactly.
think like out in Indonesia, they discovered like a civilization that was around the times where it wasn't possible for humans to be around.
Right.
So it's pretty crazy.
And
And
then
we're
like
finding pygmy people that shouldn't, they don't believe that they existed, but we're finding them pygmy races that are still alive and thriving.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah, and like also like what they just found not long ago in the Amazon. They had reports of like cities and everything being in the Amazon, and they were like,
Yeah.
no way. And now that they're flying planes with lidar over the top of them, they're finding these magnificent like cities, like with
Yeah. That's
rivers and
Mexico
temples
and
and all these
Central
things,
City as well. I mean,
mhm,
Central
and
America.
they had reports that there was these civilizations there from back when the French were exploring, and then 100 years later, they went back and there was nothing. It was just forest, and they're like, that guy was full of it, but the forest just overtook it so hard after
Yeah.
they spread their disease and killed off everybody. And the forest just overtook it. Mother nature will prevail. I mean, look at it's 2023 and we're just finding this now. So
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
there's a lot of things out there that if you're not looking, you ain't gonna find it. That's right.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. But you also have to stay open minded about it. Like, you know, everybody wants that gratification of finding things right now, right now, right now, right now. But
Yeah.
that's not how this works. And even in the animal world, if you're really searching for an animal, it takes time. The biggest thing that I like to tell people is if a burglar is coming into your home, who knows your home better? You or the burglar?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to know where to hide in your home where that person's not going to find you because you know the secrets of your home better. So you have
Yeah.
to understand the forest, that's their home for all animals. And they know how to get in and out and camouflage and hide where they need to when they need to. And we just have to be stealthy. Like they're watching, you just don't realize it. And they're very smart.
I seen Mike like get scared and run up to his like crawl space attic, and I don't even know how he fits in there, and he could like hide really good. I
Yeah,
gotta say that.
exactly. I'm very stealthy.
Yeah.
That's good
um,
to
Gotta throw
know,
that in
Mike.
there.
That's good to know.
don't
Right?
give away my secrets.
Exactly. Very
um,
stealthy. Blends right in.
and then, so you live in Florida as well,
Mhm.
right up in North Florida. Have you ever done any have responded to any reports or done any investigations and UFOs and stuff like that here in our home state?
You know what's really funny is I had a friend reach out to me because there's actually a UFO Facebook page where people like put in their reports locally, and I hooked up with a couple people on there. You know, a lot of times there's a lot of misidentification, and I kind of
Hmm.
wish that there was a stronger platform where people could have kind of like a printout of pictures because these people have a true
Like what
interest.
MUFON used to be.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Exactly. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
But yeah, like
Good
it's
thing we're
just
on YouTube only.
yeah.
Just teasing. Yeah, MUFON's on our digital on the KGRI digital broadcasting network.
oh nice.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I mean that's the thing is like there's so many passionate people out there that oddly enough have a real sixth sense about like knowing when things are around. Like they're
Hmm.
very in tune with natural frequencies, which I think
Yeah.
is amazing. You know,
We got
frequency is a
people like that
whole
on our
nother
team.
level.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's an amazing study, and I think the best weapon that we have and the best tool that we could ever use is ourselves, but people just don't utilize it enough.
Hmm.
Um, and these people truly like they spot some weird crap. And you know, it's like I don't know what it is. Like I can't because the pixelation and the distance is so raw and rare. It is really hard to try and figure out exactly what it is. Um, but I mean, there is Florida has a massive amount of
A
sightings. Like
lot.
it's Florida and
Yeah.
California. I mean, but again, we have a
Just
lot
out
of
here,
people.
people see the Tic Tacs like flying around in Miami, like out by the
Yeah.
Everglades, by the ocean.
So that was, I don't know if you guys know this, but that was like one of my first passions was extraterrestrials, UFOs, things of that stuff. And I used to research that stuff really hard until I kind of migrated more into the paranormal because it's for me, I feel like the paranormal is you can get hands on with
Yeah.
it. You know, with the UFO stuff, it's a lot of reading and research and stuff like that, and like staring into the sky. So that's kind of why I gravitated
Mike
more
ain't
towards the
got
paranormal.
patience for that.
But it was always my first love, and
Yeah.
yeah, I totally believe in some of the ancient astronaut theories. Some of it I think is a little far fetched, but some of it I do believe. And you know, I mean, to think that we're the only people in this universe is
Hmm.
crazy talk.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, if you really start looking at in a mathematical sense, we really are like smaller than just a speck of sand. You know, we're
Yeah.
nothing. It's infinity, you know, and they're finding new planets that could be inhabitable all the time, you know.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
one of the weird theories that I have, and I wanted to just kind of see what you thought about this was, and it's just one of my crazy theories, right? What if UFOs are us from the future that figured out how to time travel and they're coming back to check on
That's
us,
not crazy.
right?
Not crazy. No.
Because I mean, our technology, the way technology is getting, I mean, it's possible. They actually can. We can time travel if you go into space and then you go at a certain speed and come back. You will not have aged, but you'll be like everybody else will be like a minute ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like so that is proven math.
Hmm.
Like you
Yeah.
can do it, but going back, they just can't figure it out. But eventually, we might be able to. And if it's even if it's like hundreds of years from now and they figure it out and they come back and they don't look like us anymore, you know?
Well, look at the Mayans. Like they have inscriptions of like people from outer space. They have a guy sitting like in a makeshift like rocket ship. Um, I mean, that's pretty interesting. Like, how do you explain that? You know?
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to all of the realm of the unknown, I mean, you think about there are certain tribes that literally overnight went away, right? Like they just
Hmm.
vanished. And Atlanteans were known to be extremely intelligent race of human beings that
Hmm.
traveled. They were very smart people. And they were also said to have been influenced by a very intelligent race of beings that came from somewhere else.
Hmm.
Egypt has that, you know, they have very
Yeah.
intelligent beings that came from other places. So I'm not opposed to that theory. I mean, like, I'm very open because everything to me is theoretical, you know, like
Hmm.
theoretical science. That's why we have it. We need people to explore the unknown and think out of the box. Like, push the boundaries, push the levels. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Because if we stay stagnant, we're never going to push that level. That's not the first time I've ever heard that theory
Hmm.
where people have thought, is it possible that us from the future are coming back? You know, not basically they're learning. It's not to intercept or get in the way, but it's learning the process of what we did wrong so we don't do it again in the future.
Yeah, because I can't remember exactly where it was, but they did like an AI analysis on human beings like 1,000 years from now. What will we evolve and how we would look? And we were hairless and basically looked like a gray alien
Right.
because
I
all
remember that.
right because you
Yeah.
have all the people interracial and everything because as we evolve everybody's kind of and they turn gray after a while because white and black and all the different colors of human beings all just kind of merge into one. And then what happens is we were more intellectual, the head got a little bigger, the eyes got bigger, and you're skinny because you're doing more stuff with technology than you are your physical being, and you look like a little gray alien. So that's kind of mind-blowing there, right?
That sounds
Yeah.
like wishful thinking, Mike. The skinny part, but though. Just had to throw that out there.
And the big brain.
Oh my
The big
God.
brain, yep. Skinny
Well,
body, big head.
you know, I will tell you, like, the way that I investigate in everything is very different than how most people investigate. Like you guys said, I do like to apply a lot of science, but there are times where I will push science out and just look at what I have because I think sometimes science can over dilute and it can remove like what we really need to focus on. But when it comes to the paranormal, when it comes to the ghostly side of things,
Scientists don't like it.
no. And if you remember, parapsychology was a huge hit. It started at Duke University. They started doing real studies in it. Like I'm still studying it. I'll be honest with you, it's hard to get through for parapsychology for me because there are moments of it where you're like, oh, this is really great. This is great stuff, what our minds can do. But then the other side of it is like, oh, but it's just your mind. You're not seeing what you're seeing. And it's like, no, that's not true, So it's a struggle for me to like get through it at times because I'm like, it's like I'm fighting myself reading,
Right.
like, you know what I mean? Like you're just constantly.
Well, here's an interesting thought from American Road Warrior. My information has been that gray aliens are more like plant life, completely different.
Yeah, a different complete.
I would never think about that.
Yeah, like a completely different. Well, and also there are other theories that grays they're emotionless. They've been bred to be the workers. Like they are
I've heard
literally
that.
just literal workers. Like they don't
ants?
have emotions.
Yeah, almost like the
Yeah,
Anunnaki
yeah.
are the smart ones, and
Right.
the Greys were bred to be like the little workers.
Right. And that's why like you have the all the different races of alien beings, and then it comes down to like the grays that are like doing the dirty work. Like go get those people and do this and do that because
Well, like the whole Travis Walton case, like just blew my mind. Like I saw that movie when it first came out, like when I was a kid, and like I couldn't sleep for like a week.
oh
Like
yeah.
that, Fire in the Sky.
Oh
Well,
yeah, no, yeah. Well, some of it was TV'd because he had a very interesting experience because he actually came in contact with not just the human like race of aliens, but he also came in contact with a human that was working for them, like on board the ship as well. Like his case and his story alone it's honestly, it scared me too, Mike. Like I remember I was
just that scene, like when they were pulling him down, like by his feet, like through the tunnel, and like you see like like glasses spinning and like a little toy over here, doing, like the weightlessness and everything. I was
Yep.
like,
No.
yeah, no.
I
Freaked
also
me out.
got like so when he like wakes up in that like really weird.
Yeah, in like the like cocoon kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done.
Sick.
That
Yeah.
and the stuff on his face and like no, that gets me if it's sticky and it's like clung your like.
Yeah.
But you
no.
like snakes.
I do like snakes, but it's not the same
Yeah.
thing.
Snakes aren't slimy.
They're slimy. They're
No,
like,
they're not.
They
They
should.
should.
I don't like touching
No.
snakes either. I don't even like the skin. They
No,
scare
I
me.
love snakes. I don't mind snakes at all. Snakes are incredible.
Quick story everyone knows about. Like, there's a place that we frequent. I think I told you about it. The the Aerojet rocket facility in the middle of the
Oh,
Everglades.
here we go. Every episode.
Every episode I got to
mentions
replay
it at least once.
Yep. So we went. I found out about that show from a
At
Python
least this
hunting
time it's
show.
related.
Yeah, and I try to make it relate. So yeah, I found out about this place on the Python hunting show, and they were out there. That's got prime area for pythons, and they were saying that it's haunted. I'm like, I gotta check that out. So I remember going there for the very first time. The ghosts didn't scare me. I just didn't want to bump into like a python that's like about 20 feet long. I mean, that's what scared me
Yeah.
the most.
But they don't really mess with you, right? Like,
No.
I don't feel like they'll mess
It's
with
What if
you.
you step on them?
It's very dramatic. People say a lot of drama down there about those things for hype. It's not. It's really not.
Well, even on the python hunting shows, it's not even real. They put out like already caught python, and they act like they're
We're catching
catching
the
it.
same one over and over again. Sorry.
Yeah,
Fact.
I talked to an actual python hunter, and he says like one day it's like rare to find one. It's not like you're going to one night and you're just like picking them off like
Yeah.
left and right.
It's a shame. I have a friend that owns, I don't want to name it, but a big wholesaling reptile store here in South Florida. And I was talking to him, and he said, "Yeah, oh yeah, a lot of those guys come in all the time. They just pick them up and they borrow them. I'll take them, and then they'll take them out of the van, put them on the ground, jump on them, roll around a little bit, and then they put them back in the van. They bring them back to me." I was like, "Oh, nice."
I bet Brit can do some pretty good alligator wrestling. Some pictures of her with alligators. I saw one in our social media that was like humongous, prehistoric.
Oh, that's my baby. That's Trapper. Well, my brother's all like he actually does. He has his own company. He's a actual crocodilian behavioralist. He has crocodiles. He owns alligators and
Crocs.
crocodiles.
See, Crocs I don't mess with.
Yeah, they're wonderful. They're extremely intelligent. Like totally.
That's the scary part.
Completely. They're just amazing. Like
Doesn't your
talk
brother
about
have a
one-
paranormal team?
Yeah, WTF Paranormal. Yeah, that's
Yep. He's a cool guy.
Yeah,
I
we
haven't
started
heard from him
together.
for a while though.
No, yeah, well, I will admit that the croc space has kept him extremely busy for a while because
okay.
he's always working somewhere or he's wanted somewhere for something, especially with the work that he does. Our buddy Jimmy Riffle from Gator Boys, they go on the road together. They do a lot of stuff together with Crocs.
Oh,
and
cool.
You talk about a Gator wrestler, Jimmy
Yeah.
Boy.
No, those guys are legit.
Yeah,
those
like no. I props to them. Like I'll get dirty. I'll get in the croc pens. It does not bother me because I trust like the teachings that I have gotten from my brother over the years. Like I was so young when my brother started doing all of this, so it was no surprise to be like, hey, we're transporting a croc, and in the back of a truck, everyone's laying with a croc. It's like no one like it's not a big deal to me. It's really not, and so it's just hilarious.
Crocs more aggressive than gators,
Yeah.
from what I heard.
No, it's just that they know how to read you.
Yeah, they're smarter.
They're smarter.
They're both very intelligent. Like people underestimate because they're like, well, they have such a small brain, but they use their whole brain as to where we don't.
Right.
Like,
True.
They actually read there's something amazing about a croc. Like a croc, if it is just like, let's just say hypothetically, it's trapped. And it's like, I ain't living this life. I know what they're going to do to me. It actually will send off a signal to its brain and it will kill itself. Like they are extremely intelligent. Yeah, extremely intelligent species. Very underestimated. You have to figure they haven't changed at all since living with the dinosaurs. So, I mean, like, at all.
What was wild is when I was in Australia, I mean, at least once a week on the news, I heard of somebody getting taken by one of the crocs, the saltwater crocs up there. Like they were canoeing and fishing and like washing their hands like over the side of the and just grab them. And it was crazy.
Well, it's interesting because crocs, like, that was something that my brother actually taught. And it's something that he was taught through Flavio Morse. He was one of the main behavioralists who actually created behavioralists with crocodiles. He was actually going overseas. And overseas in certain areas, like in Africa and stuff like that, their watering holes, these crocs would come in and you would have these issues where these crocs were like, I'm going to, eat somebody. And the problem is like, it was an understanding between them and the croc. And there's a teaching of a behavioral understanding to where you teach the croc, this is our space, that's your space. Mm-hmm. So a croc isn't just going to come out of nowhere and be like, hey, I'm just going to eat you because I'm going to eat you. Like, It's literally like there's a whole understanding of mental behavior that happens that leads up to these attacks. Like right now, I'm sure you've seen in the news another alligator attack. Another alligator takes off a man's arm. There
I
is so
think Mike
much.
would be a great meal, by the way. I don't know. If they're
Two
pretty
helpings.
smart, they'd be all over Mike. I'm just saying.
Got that
Poor
sweet,
Mike.
got that sweet meat.
You got that sweet meat, but guess who's in the chat?
April. Oh my god, I
She
love
made it.
April.
She is. Listen, April is like I
She's
love her.
awesome.
If
Yep.
anybody that's on here who doesn't know who April Bassett is, she is the intuitiveapril.com. You can find her. She is an incredible medium, but I know she's going to kill me, but she is an incredible human being and friend. Like,
Yeah, she
if
is.
you want someone to have your back and be there for you, that's her.
Yeah, she
That
will.
is- yeah, she is.
She'll bring you some whoop-ass New Jersey on you, that's for sure. You
She-
mess with her.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
that's
love.
Sicilian,
I've
Italian.
talked to her.
gotta-
Like we talk like
Mobs-
almost every morning. So if
Mobs-
you listen to
mob
her
style hit.
beeping that horn, she knows what's
She,
up.
No,
she,
she's
yeah, she
awesome.
blew our mind the last time she was on our show. I mean, literally blew my mind. I was like in the daze for I couldn't believe it. She is awesome. We got to get her back here for sure.
She's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yep. I'm sorry, April, but we do have to give you a shout out since you're on here.
You know what? It's a good breaking point where we can run some of our promotional materials.
We got to pay some bills real quick.
That's right. Let's see where they are this time. The new, like I said, new streaming platform. So
I got it here. Which one do you want me to play first? What
whatever,
one should
go
play?
for it. I'll let you
Okay,
pick.
here we go. And by the way, this offer applies to you, Brit. So,
Oh,
and April, if you're on here, here we
And
go.
anybody watching, actually.
Yeah. What's up, my paranormal peeps? I'm Eric Vanderlaan, and I'm the host of War Party Paranormal Radio, and also the team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And we got an exciting announcement to let you guys know tonight, and it involves stuff like this, and my co-host is going to tell you all about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Del Coro with War Party, obviously. We are a technical team, and we always have people ask us, where can we get equipment like this? Well, you can get it from the ghosthunterstore.com. We got a nice little sponsorship worked out with them. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned. Very, very cool, and go check them out at theghosthunterstore.com.
Peace. Britt, you can go get yourself a thermal flare. Track down that Sasquatch.
I do love me some thermal. Let me tell you.
So, guys, when you go to the website and you go to check out in the cart and you hit the promotional code, just type in Ghost Gone Wild and you'll receive a discount on your purchase. So, yeah, check it out. Take advantage of that. And then also, we got this great one for you. I love this one. This always makes me laugh.
What's up? What's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease, so hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/warparty for their special offer that includes free shipping. Fuel Up for life. Hey, Eric, how do we do?
It's awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if commercials is our thing.
True that.
So yeah, stuff works. It tastes good. It's out there. If you get it, you go to www.fuelup/warparty, and you get a special offer with free shipping. And last but not least,
Make sure we got two left, but they're really quick, I promise.
okay. So second to last but not least,
There you go.
Eric and I have a new show out on Paraflix called The Haunted Files. If you
Check
guys
it
haven't
out.
seen it before, make sure you go check it out. And if you want to subscribe, and you use our code, The Haunted Files 25, takes 25% off your annual subscription. Comes out to like $30 a year. So we'd appreciate it if you check it out. Here's
Awesome.
this one is now streaming, and you can check it out now. Technical difficulties again.
Good evening. As searchers wade through the muck of the Everglades, looking for any signs of the DC-9 that crashed there, and the 109 people who died.
Search crews make their way through the muck and swampy water. The wreckage scattered in bits and pieces everywhere. Among that wreckage, the remains of the 110 victims on board. The toughest job, removing those remains into a temporary morgue near the crash site.
So we have the EDI, which is going off like crazy. Look at that. I have no electronics on me.
That ball's going off, Eric.
What the? We can help find her. Also, I didn't know your name.
Something fly. I heard fly in there. That was a wild investigation. It blew our minds away, for real. So did the mosquitoes. They bit our asses, but we survived. Hey, we're preparing ourselves for a skunk ape hunt, so that's what other place to go is in the middle of the Everglades, right?
Exactly. And I'll let you tell about the next one real quick.
Yeah, so like our team members are very talented. They all have their own things going on. So one thing I want to do is make an announcement. Franny, one of our team members, Supernatural Eye. If you go to her YouTube page, Supernatural Eye, she's dropping a video, and it actually her season is featuring all the team members on War Party Paranormal and how she met them first. So this one is going to be on Ortona Cemetery, and actually we did Spirits of the South and Paraflix, and it's super haunted. And Brit, you would love this, but there are mountains there that go back to 250 AD. There's a serpent mound that they discovered out there, and we see a lot of shadow figures there. And we actually we got some crazy stuff. We got a disembodied voice, and it's just weird. And I think it all relates because that was a sacred area. So yeah, her video is going to come out on Ortona, featuring one of our teammates, Richie. And it's going to be coming on this Thursday at 9 p.m. And I'm going to play the intro. There we go.
On the next episode of Supernatural Eye.
That's right, April. Serpent Mound. We got to cut. Now that gives you even more reason to come down here and visit us. All three of us.
Yep, exactly.
So we're finished. We're done. Now we can move on.
Perfect. All right.
Not too
So
bad.
let's, in that intro that Eric made for you, you were looking at some glyphs there. Where were you there?
That was actually out in Roswell, New Mexico area. We were actually in
Oh, okay.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hmm.
Very cool. Anything you could talk about, or is that on TV stuff that you can't talk about? Or
No, that was so I actually went out there because I'm heavily involved with Roswell. My friend is Donald Schmidt, Ben Hansen, obviously my friends. I work very deep in the Roswell efforts of basically trying to keep that going. I also work with like UAP reports from pilot reports that come in. Ben and I actually specialize in that right now, to where people can email us directly that are a pilot, that tell us their case. They write down their file and we discuss it. He also has branched over to a company called Enigma that is also branched out doing the same thing we're doing, and just we're broadening what we're doing onto a larger horizon. And with Roswell, which I'll be speaking at this June 30th through July 1st, which is the Roswell incident. It's the annual year big event that they do for the Roswell crash of
Very cool.
1947. So I'll be speaking there. I'll be doing lectures there, and a meet and greet at the actual International Museum there. But we were recently out there because we were doing an archaeological dig site at a location which is known as the final crash site, and it hasn't been touched since the crash site date of 1947.
interesting.
There's actually 3 locations. So we just did an archaeological dig out there to verify, basically by site, location tracking, and making sure that it was in fact the exact location. We were on spot. We were on target based on the eyewitness accounts from deathbed confession. Sorry, that's a tongue twister.
Say that 5 times real fast.
Yeah. So anyway, we were out there, but then Ben, I brought my husband out on that track. That was really fun for him. But Ben and John and I basically, before we left, there were just a lot of places that we wanted to see that had really cool hieroglyphs and things like that we just really wanted to see. These would have been petroglyphs, but we really, really wanted to go see them. So that wasn't anything that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So this is the start to some really cool big stuff. So
Our buddy Bill Slevin.
I know, Bill. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I missed you Saturday. Yeah, I was at Spooky Empire. I can't believe that I missed Bill. It's crazy.
He's at all.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, Bill's a great guy.
Yeah, he investigates with us. We're in the same hood pretty much.
Yeah,
But
Bill's good.
I was watching a show that's on Discovery Plus now with Ben Hansen
Yes.
regarding UFOs, and you guys were, I think, off the coast of Catalina Island, and there's been a lot of stuff going on there.
Yep.
And like we were talking about, there's a lot of stuff we haven't explored. We haven't explored like how much of a percentage of the ocean have we explored? I mean, what could hide in there? That'd be crazy.
5.66. That's it. And I'm not
Yeah.
even joking you.
No, I believe you.
Yep, that's it. It's like you have to think about the actual percentage of ocean is 75% if you remove the landmass, and we've only touched 5% of it. So we have just under 70%, like that we still have no idea what's out there, like
Yeah.
zero. So my field study is Catalina Island, because Catalina is literally the mysterious island. I was drawn to that island when I lived in California.
Great whites.
Oh yeah, oh
I'm
yeah.
afraid of that. That would scare me.
I love great whites. I actually made a promise to my parents when I was like, I think I was 16, because I wanted to go great white diving, and they were like, in a cage. I'm like, no, I want to free dive with them. Like, no.
Yep,
And then,
April, you're right. Brit's badass. That's for sure.
April knows I have no limits. I have height, okay? I don't like height. I don't like rappelling. That's not my thing. I'm
Yeah.
not going to skydive. That's my
Me neither. No.
no. But yeah, Catalina is really, it's really fascinating to me. On the back side of the island, honestly, in 1966, that is where we got our Lee Hansen video, and that is what we believe to be known as one of the number one videos of all time that showcased a USO that happened over Catalina Island. But I mean, they had back to back from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. We had abduction cases that were insane connection cases to other locations in our globe of creatures that were in the water observing a diver. I mean, these are weird things that happen, and
That's crazy.
we have, sounds that have come from the ocean, 3 of which still cannot be proven. And then we have some where, like, I love when the NOAA came out and they're like, oh, yeah, we discovered that one is fish farting. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
What? Like, how would we miss a fish fart? Okay, that's cool. But we do have some weird ones out there. So I'm very intrigued by the ocean. I study, so when I talk about being a ufologist, my study in ufology that I'm driven to
Female
is not
Indiana
so much
Jones.
looking up. Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah. Well, my Indiana Jones hat's over there. You can see it's hanging. There it is. I was drawn to the ocean because I'm a diver. I feel like that's our space. We know more about the space than we do our
Yeah.
own. which is
Mike
crazy.
and I are former divers. I haven't done it in a while, but
Yeah, if
Yeah.
anybody doesn't know, I was a boat captain and fish boat crew for years and years. Spent a lot of time on the water in the Bahamas. For a couple years, I was on the water more than I was on land.
I used to be a windsurfing instructor.
Oh, that's cool.
See, Mike, you didn't know about that.
Didn't know about that. See, every show or every time, I always find something new. It's very mysterious.
We'll keep learning more. I hold some things back. You get little bits and pieces.
I lay it all out there. I'm like an open book.
Keep on your toes.
So yeah, what's the name of that place that's off Andros in the Bahamas? Altec. There's like an underwater base where they test all kinds of stuff off Andros Island, the Bahamas. I want to say it's like Altec.
I'm sure my husband dove there a lot. He knows so many spaces down there. He's like, I gotta take you down there. We've got to dive.
I've seen some really strange things out sword fishing and traveling at night. I don't know for sure. I don't want to call them paranormal or whatever. Could have been a sub of something like that, but usually they don't. Like I've seen like large lights moving underwater when we're traveling. And like, what is that? You know, and you're like, oh well, you know.
Well, you know, I used to investigate the Cape Florida Lighthouse in Key Biscayne, Florida.
Yes.
It's in Miami. And the official marker for the eastern point of the Bermuda Triangle's on there.
That's
And
right.
we got a lot of activity there, and I think there was a lighthouse keeper that and his helper that was attacked by Seminole Indians. One of them died, but people are always dumping bodies out there. But I don't know if because I've gotten paranormal activity there. I don't know if that Bermuda Triangle plays a part of that.
Well, you know, I just want to say that people forget, and a lot of things happen with water because water is a natural electrical, like it is a
Exactly.
huge amplifier.
Conductor, yeah.
It conducts as energy, yeah. And so basically, if you're surrounded by it, it's just a natural resource of conducted energy that is happening over and over and over again. That is why, like with the waves, when it comes in, that's actually conducting a frequency all on its own.
Yeah, the waves are like at our frequency, basically, the way that they're coming in even.
Exactly. And I did a very deep study in regards to the way, you know, like locations when they have water sources next to the homes. Like a lot of the studies I would do is if I was working in a paranormal case with spirits, like you're talking about, Eric, I would actually, if I knew there was water on the property, I would go in and turn on the faucets. I wanted the electricity to start coming in the house.
Oh,
I wanted to see
interesting.
the conductor to see what was happening. And a lot of times you
gotta
didn't
try
even
that.
need that. It was connecting with enough energy because that constant flow of water, it's not stagnant. It's constantly on the move. It's conducting its own energy and frequency. Like it's
You know, it's
literally-
kind of
it's just-
funny that you say that too. Is as a case manager, when we do residentials, I have like a list of questions that I ask, and one of them is there a body of water on the property.
you have to.
And a lot of places like the Deering Estate,
We're
for
on
instance,
top of limestone. That's all.
we're
of
on top
Florida,
of
pretty much.
limestone, which is a conductor. We're surrounded by salt water, which is also another conductor. So some of these heavily active places like the Deering Estate is also surrounded by Native American burial grounds. You have limestone, you have salt water, you got this
Prehistoric shit, saber-toothed tiger, woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
Prehistoric
been found there.
beings.
So, for me, like in the regards of the paranormal, that's one thing that I always really appreciated you guys for. And a lot of times I see it just like we run stagnant. Because even myself in some of my career over the 20 years, like I ran the same repeat over and over again in my techniques. And I didn't get any results. I kept getting the same. And about 11 years ago now, going on 12, I started applying physics into what I was doing. But I was
There you go.
applying the time bending physics,
Oh,
and the
okay.
time bending theory, and time slips into my work. And I just added it to my tools. I just added it as another avenue because so many accounts in so many areas, like you were mentioning limestone, all these different conductors, a lot of people don't stop and think about soils, golds, minerals, coppers, what all of these things play when dealing with a paranormal location. So you got locations where people are like, I don't know why my location is so much more intense than way down the road. Like, what's the difference? Well, the difference is you sit on a high amount of quartz or you sit on a high amount of natural gold resources or silver resources or
Didn't you go to
copper.
Virginia City?
Yes.
I was there.
My family up there in Virginia City.
No way. I was there.
Not a real family. I just call my people up there.
Oh, okay. I was there in October, and that place is super haunted, and it's got to be all those silver mines and all
They're
the
sitting
crazy
on a
stuff
battery.
that's happened there.
Yeah, they're sitting on a battery. It's just, yeah.
I mean, even walking down the street, you feel the vibe. It's just like the energy. It's really weird.
You do. And if you stop too, it's really cool because you'll feel in some areas, and even like Sedona, because the vortex
Oh
is
yeah.
there.
Yep, I've been there.
The weird things about the frequencies in our atmosphere, like when people think of time bending, they're like, come on, this is crazy. Like, you're just smoking something. No, I'm not. Like, if you got to stop and think about it, it's just that we're not running on a linear or straight line. Like, it's not straight, it's not a linear line. We're actually coming back and bending on ourselves. So, to go
Right.
back full circle, Mike, to what you were saying about possible us from the future and what we're seeing is us from the future, if we are allowing ourselves to believe that we can see the past and the present at the same time in the theory of time bending, why wouldn't we be able to also see the future? And also, we don't know what's been written. Science recently came out and discovered that we do live within several different dimensions. Okay, there are other dimensions within our own world next to us and frequencies next to us. So knowing that,
Hmm.
I've now added that into my investigative research to say maybe it's possible that these other frequencies are the past and the present, the past, the current, and the present. They're, I'm sorry, the past, present, and future overlapping all at the same time and coexisting. And sometimes in some areas in our atmosphere and on our planet,
Uh-huh.
they actually overlap, causing this effect to where what we think our people are dead. Like you guys know, you guys have had to have had an account like a ghost story or someone tell you where they say, I've seen a ghost and that ghost stared at me in shock and then disappeared in front of my eyes. Their eyes were this big when they saw me, right?
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
believe it was a ghost. In my head, I
Is
think
your-
the past and the present overlapped and you both were living at the same period of time at the same time and you both
Wait.
had a paranormal experience.
The way that I agree with you, and I think that is also a theory that I think about sometimes. Like, say you're investigating a haunted house, right? And in this our dimension that we're
Mhm.
living in, the people were deceased, right? They passed away, and in this dimension here, they're still alive. It could be
Right.
a different time or whatever, and
Right.
they're thinking like
The
almost the best way.
Others, the
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
exactly. The very well
Uh-huh.
portrayed theory is in the movie The Others,
It
right?
really is. That
And I
movie
think
creeped me
that,
out, but it was
yeah,
good.
it's
It
creepy,
does.
right?
I
But
love
that's
that
kind
movie.
of like the way that I sometimes think that maybe that could be occurring. Um, or you don't know, but it is weird, right? And when if the Big Bang theory is correct, and when there's another strange thing that I'm kind of going off topic a little bit, but um, there's supposedly the same amount of matter as an antimatter. When that happened, why can they not find where all the antimatter is? That's a whole nother loophole, but rabbit hole to go down. But when the Big Bang happened, it had to create multiple dimensions, and
Hmm.
mathematically they're proving that is the case.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Now,
got a
just how to
pic.
get into them.
Well, I took a picture of me in my different dimension. I mean,
Is that you behind you?
it's right there.
Oh, okay.
That's me in the
Why
other
do you have a sheet?
dimension.
You're cold.
That's not. No, that's not a sheet. It's almost like lines.
Oh, okay.
It's like a hybrid of me in the future.
If things get
Just
too
teasing.
deep, Eric just gets gets silly.
I don't know. It just happens. My mind wanders, and then I start thinking of like what you guys are talking about to like crazy things.
And then it hurts.
Yeah. Hey, but you got to think outside the box sometimes.
I'm always out there thinking of like the next step forward. Like, listen, you guys will laugh at me, but this is where my mind goes, okay? So you take a haunted mirror, right? So like this is how I work. This is where I'm like, ah. So I know that minerals conduct energy. Like, so like if you have a tub full of water, if there's minerals in the water, you run electric in it, it's going to connect all those minerals and it connects the feed all the way through. That's why people die. If it's a filtrated water, that's not going to happen. There's no minerals in it. You're not going to die, right? Well, the same works on mirrors, okay? Mirrors in the past were built with different types of minerals in them. Some had the diamond dust. Some had actual flakes of copper or silver or gold or copper.
People say they're portals.
Portals, right. So, for me, I was like, well, what happens? Because in the spiritual plane, theoretically, they need energy to manifest. So
Right.
they pull from us, they pull from whatever. But if you have a mirror that is allegedly haunted or holding a spirit within it, what happens if you give the mirror energy or electricity? So I actually finagled with my dad, who I love. My dad's out there with me. I'm like, I've got this idea. I need to get this done. And so we spent like a whole evening, and we
We're gonna have to
literally
talk to your dad.
grabbed my dad's amazing. We grabbed an old mirror and we scraped off the back. We're talking old, like we're talking 1900s old, like for the back. Scraped off the back, connected copper wiring to a 9-volt battery. I know people are gonna be like, oh my God, she could have burned a house down. No, we know what we were doing. But I wanted
Some
to
investigators don't.
I know.
Got a little story. I'm not gonna even say that story, but go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to see if theoretically could it connect and create energy through the actual glass pane for if a mirror was haunted.
That's
And
a
we
great idea.
made a connection. Like we actually made a solid connection through the minerals and made a solid connected energy right through the mirror. So in my head, I'm going, so what happens if you give a haunted mirror its own battery
Right.
with whatever's inside? That's so for people to understand, like that's where my brain's constantly going.
That's
What's
like
the
me.
next
I'm
we can do?
always thinking about, like, when we did the Gilchrist County Jail, I brought a Tesla coil,
Yeah, they're
and,
great.
and I just wanted to just send off as much EMF into the room as possible, and we let it run for a few minutes.
Mike's beard was like pointing in all different.
Yes,
His hairs
I
were
got.
pointing in all different directions.
I look like I stuck my finger in a light socket. No.
That's okay.
But it was it was hard to test like that because I need somewhere that we go to all the time, where I could run it one time, do some EVPs, and then do it another night without doing it, and then vice versa, and have like a but yeah, I definitely want to do more stuff like that. Like I built a Jacob's ladder, that
Okay.
has the
Yeah.
arc and
Yeah.
so I like playing with all those types of things, and
Off air, we'll tell you about a little experiment we were thinking about.
Okay.
and then
I'm
I mean, I look back at like these guys, right? Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla,
They were
all
all
of them
into
tried to
paranormal.
build devices to communicate with spirits,
Mm-hmm.
and
for
and those
sure.
are and those are pretty smart guys, I would say. So if they didn't, if they believed in it back then, I don't know when it kind of transferred over to pseudoscience, and people were like, eh. But back when these guys were around, that was like a no-brainer. It was like, oh, I'm going to make something to talk to spirits because they're there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it became like a pseudoscience kind of like, hokey kind of thing. But
But it's
so
becoming more relevant now, which is amazing. It does
Yeah.
seem like we're starting to step back out of that again, and it's
Mm-hmm.
becoming more of a recognized, like, we need to figure this out kind of science. So I have to say,
Yeah.
I do appreciate that because, as you guys know as well as I do, for a long time, if we talked about we investigated ghosts, people are like,
yeah, like
stay away from that.
Yeah. And then people have to think like we're very like when we like review evidence and we get stuff, like we're very critical. Like we're trying as hard as we can to debunk it and trying
Yeah.
to find an explanation. Like I'll see something like a shadow figure and Mike will get me all pissed off saying that, he found an explanation for it. And I'm like, no, it's a shadow figure. But yeah, we're like hard on ourselves about that and we have to be.
Yeah, and I mean, it's okay to be that way. I think it's good. I think that's what
It's
makes
good.
a good investigator. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
really have to be critical.
I forgive him later and I give him a hug and all that. And then we're good.
hold on.
No, you do. You have to be critical. You have to,
Yeah.
that's just kind of the way that it is. I mean,
Debunked. There you go.
perfect. There you go. I'm just old school, like it is really hard for me nowadays to get into the newer equipment. And like I'll be honest, I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for saying this. I'm so sorry, but I am not a fan so much of the SLS.
No, we
Like,
hate it.
I agree.
I'm sorry. I know how it
Yeah.
works. I know what it does. And
It's just trying to map anything. So
yeah, and I mean, like I've seen teams like who know that okay, not everything is what it is,
it looks
and they
good on
try to
TV.
say, "Can you wave for me? Like, can you and then you don't get anything, So
Yeah.
I'm just those types of things. Like I love that somebody reached out to create something like that, though, because that is
It
what
was a
Yeah.
good idea.
It's definitely a good
absolutely
idea.
that's the part of it that I love. Somebody thought outside of the box to push us to the next level, and that is
And
all.
maybe one day someone's going to take that idea and find something different that's going to be similar, where you'll be able to
Right.
map something out that we can't see. We're just
Well,
getting,
look
moving.
up
We're
the soul
moving.
phone.
It's progression.
Google the soul phone tonight.
Okay, cool.
Anybody watching, Google the soul phone. Just do that, and you're going to be
Like
like,
Soul
"Holy-"
Train.
like a human soul. Yeah, like Soul
Oh,
Train. Yeah,
okay.
like a human soul phone. There's an actual organization that is trying to create a device, a real device, to talk to the other side scientifically.
Oh, very cool.
So definitely look into it. It
That's
was
all
brought
we
to
do.
my attention. I was like,
Yeah.
what the heck is this? This is weird.
Now,
Yeah.
Britt, do you think you're like sensitive at all, or you're just like us? You're just like more like scientific, and
No, unfortunately,
you
I'm
feel
sensitive.
things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Well,
I don't say unfortunately in a bad way, but
no,
It's almost like a
no, it's
double-edged
not
sword,
bad.
right?
I do, and I kind of wish I did it because
Yeah, but you got a
it's
superpower.
yeah, sure. It just, sometimes it can affect me on investigations because of what I'm picking up on. It can really emotionally get to me to where I have to step aside. So
I got
with
you.
good and it's
Okay.
bad, where I'm like trying to break myself saying it's not what I think it is, but I
Yeah.
know it is what I think it is. So it can be
Yeah.
hard, but I don't talk about it publicly. I don't, I do my own thing when I investigate in the sense of like what I'm picking up on, and I keep like I call them my ghost logs, my ghost books,
Oh, very
and
cool.
they're literally these are ghost notes. That's what they
There
are.
you go.
And I'll write down what I'm feeling or sensing, and then later I'll see if anything matched up for me through my EPs or whatever. Yeah, just to see. But yeah, I have something. April knows. I talk to her sometimes about it. I'm
And
like,
have you done any type of sensory deprivation?
yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, we definitely have to hook up, and maybe you can try the Delco. Some people don't like it. Like
Yeah.
we were doing a Delco experiment for a TV show that we can't mention that's coming out later this year.
She got
But
the
it's a
lady got
bunch of
very
celebrities.
emotional.
Yeah, they both the husband and wife got emotional. They had to tap out. That's the first time I've seen that before. So
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like I said, we were always thinking of different things, and I was looking at researching the Gansfeld experiment,
Yep.
with the red lights over your eyes, half ping
mhm.
pong balls, and I'm like, man, how can we
Mhm.
use this for ghost hunting, basically? And I'm like, man, maybe if we mix the red lights with the Estes, listening to a spirit box. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way than ping pong balls, and like bringing them around to like a haunted location. So I
Yeah.
came up with these, and I designed these and made these, and they're electroluminescent panels in it that take batteries.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you can get the visual sensory deprivation and the audio at the same time, and people have been reporting a lot of pretty crazy stuff.
That's
People are
awesome.
getting touched and feeling things, so seeing visuals. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of your videos and your work with that on there. I think it's fascinating. But again, that's why I said I appreciate you guys because you do like to, kind of go to the next level. Like you keep pushing forward, and I love that. That's what we need. We
Yeah.
need that hard push in the paranormal field. We just do.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we appreciate all your work and everything you're doing. It's awesome to see,
Mhm.
and all the well-versed stuff that you're in, and it's awesome, is what it
We're
is.
cheering for you, Britt.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we see
Guys.
you, new things coming up. Yep.
Yeah.
Can you tell people like any upcoming things that are coming up, where they can find you, things like that?
Yeah.
Plug yourself.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram, obviously, and Facebook under Facebook. I'm Brit Barbieri or Brittany Barbieri, excuse me. And then on Instagram, which I do a lot on Instagram, like talking to people more than posting. And I know that's bad. I should be posting more. Yeah, Brit_investigates is my main Instagram page where I'm very active on. I do have a TikTok. I hardly am ever on it, I'll be honest, but feel free to follow. I do check on every once in a while.
You make some good reels.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. My latest one seemed to get a lot of hits. Thanks, Pedro. Pascal. But anyway, I just like to have fun with my page, to be quite honest, because I just, it's
No, I
sometimes in the
love 'em.
field it can be so dark, so I just like to
Yeah.
have humor. So anyway, so yeah, you reach out to me there. I'm also on LinkedIn, which not a lot of people use unless it's business. I am going to be at Spruce Pine in North Carolina on June 10th. It is a UFO event, alien event, Spruce Pine Alien Festival. I'll be doing a lecture there. Several other individuals in the field will be there. Another gentleman, Mike Barba from Ancient Aliens, is going to also be there doing his lecture.
Okay, cool.
That'll be a fun event if you can make it out. And then, like I said, the Roswell incident in June, end of June, June 30th through July 1st. I will be there at the International Museum with a table and also doing, a couple lectures throughout the day and panels. Ben Hansen will also be there with me, my partner. We also have our Hypocenter 101 on YouTube, where we do full UFO kind of analysis on videos and breakdowns from pilot reports that we get. Ben Hansen and I do that. There are a couple of things that I can't talk about yet that
Ben
are.
Hansen's cool. I like him.
He's a good dude.
I'm a fan of him.
Really good dude. Yeah, very good. Very
I
good.
became a big fan of him from that show Fact or Faked years ago.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
baby.
that's how I followed him. People don't know Ben Hansen is on Travel Channel, Discovery Plus. He has a show on UFOs.
All over.
He's
Yeah,
a
he's all
former
over now.
FBI
Yeah.
agent, so he's very knowledgeable.
Very much. You can go to benhansen.com. I'll plug him. Just go there and see all of his work. He's done it
We've been
all.
trying to get him on the show, but he has a contract. But he's super
That
nice.
is the
A lot of
problem.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Super-
tell me plugged him.
Yeah.
I will. I'll text him. Yeah, I'll tell
I mean,
him.
that's awesome just for him to reach back out to us and be like, hey, guys, yeah, I would love to. As soon as my contract's up for this, seems like a super nice guy. So,
Oh, he's very laid back. He's a really, really good guy. If you can support him, follow him.
yeah, of course, guys. Check him out for
Really
sure.
good guy.
And then
Yeah.
you said something's coming out that you can't.
I can't talk about yet, but it will be coming to TV, to the
Nice.
networks. So when I am allowed to talk about it, I will talk about it. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes right now in
I'm happy for you.
television space that I can't mention yet, as they
Yeah.
always say. Unfortunately, how that goes due to contracts, but a lot's happening. Yeah, which is good. It's fun. I enjoy the work that I do, and I mainly do it just because I
You're living the
get
dream.
out there. Yeah, no. No, I just enjoy the work. I just like getting out there and actually getting in the field. I'm a boots on the ground person, so
Yeah.
it's hard for me to be not doing something fun like that. Like if
Yeah.
I can't, like it's
No,
not
we
the
hear
same
you.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're right there with you. Love it. We love what we do. We're passionate about what we do. So, and it's awesome. And it's awesome talking to somebody.
You got a
else that-
radio show, right?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Podcast. Don't forget
shoot.
that.
God, Eric, I totally forgot. Yeah,
I got
have
you.
a pod- You do got me. You guys are so good. God, I did almost forget. Yeah, I'm a host with my partner Donald Schmidt. We do No Earthly Explanation, which is pretty self-explanatory. We brought April on. She did an amazing job. We just interview a bunch of different people. It's all about all different things that leave you saying there's just no earthly explanation for what happened. Our recent one, we have several coming out. We do have one coming out that please watch for. It's incredible. We had a very, very special guest with a really great history. And I can't say it until I'm allowed to say it when I'm getting closer to the promotion, but please keep checking my Instagram. I will post it there, or you can catch it on No Earthly Explanation on Instagram. Follow that as well, and you'll see
Yep,
that.
check her out.
Yeah, I forgot.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Now I know who Big Beaver is.
What?
It's my friend Troy.
Oh,
We go camping in the Everglades all the time, and when we do go, we
Where
always do
are
like we do night hikes. So I think the last time we took my FLIR out, try to see if we can get something. But yeah, I mean, we may not get anything, but it's just cool doing a night hike. It's
heck
awesome.
yeah.
Well, listen, if you guys are out and you do a skunk ape, okay, or a Bigfoot investigation, and you get a foot track, you let me know. I can push that off and send it to Jeff Meldrum and have him look at it.
Well, let's go do one.
Well, let's do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Freaking mosquitoes.
No, wait,
Eric.
it's cool.
Huh?
Even if Eric and I just go. I mean,
Yeah.
if we see anything, I used to be a hunter.
My friend Big
and,
Beaver will
and
go.
everything, man. Yeah, we'll bring Big Beav.
Listen,
And,
I will tell you a quick story before we sign off. I literally left my mom. I joke about this all the time to die. We lived in Colorado, Estes Park, way up in the Rockies. We had a lot of wild animals, and we also had an exotic animal ranch. So we were out feeding the llamas one night, and mom's on one side of the fence, I'm on the other. We had our house. We had like a connected back porch, but it went right to the ground with a ground level underneath, our garden level underneath. We're standing there, and literally we heard the worst sound that we know today was definitely like had to have been a Sasquatch, like very close, letting us know, like a warning, like, hey, what's up? Like,
How does it sound?
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not Matt Moneymaker. What's wrong? But anyway, so like I literally dropped the grain. I just stared at her. Thank God she had a barn. I dropped the grain. I took off. I like ran. I was like 9 years old. I like run in the house, and I get inside. I close the glass door, and I'm like, I just left my mom to die by Bigfoot. Like it just stopped on me, you know.
You
And then
just
I
bailed.
I'm like, Mom, and I like run back out. She's like, you left me to die. I was like, I'm so sorry.
People, this is where it's all started, right?
It did. It started in Estes Park for me. I had my first sighting when I was 4.
Wow.
A really weird, like, yeah, I like everybody picks on me for it, but my first sighting, I was 4 years old, and I saw a Native American look in the window at me.
Oh, wow. And where is that exactly?
So Estes Park is, gosh, it's like an hour out of Denver. If you're familiar with Boulder, you're gonna go, like, God, you're gonna go north of. You're just gonna go way up into the Rockies. Colorado's
Okay.
pretty nearby. If you look up like Lions, I mean the Stanley Hotel, that's where Estes Park is. So
Oh,
if you know where
okay.
Stanley Hotel is, that's where Estes Park is. But
Yeah, that's why they call it the
like
West
literally
Coast.
have to go from like Boulder goes this way. So Boulder's more to this side, and Estes Park sits up here, and then like Longmont's down here. And we used to go to Longmont all the time, so we would go just this one trail. It took like an hour to get into town. Like if we wanted to go to
Oh,
Walmart,
wow.
on Longmont, like. But we were used to it. It's a great drive, you know, and we had so much property. We'd see mountain lions,
I mean,
bobcat.
I bet the wildlife there and the visuals is incredible. The scenery.
We used to
Yeah,
have elk
Colorado's awesome.
come and sit in our front yard because we had salt blocks. So like giant herds of elk would just sit with the big males. Like I would just go outside and just I wanted to pet one so bad I'd get so close. I was like, that's a good idea. But yeah, like
You
it's
know
the
what always
best.
tripped me out about Colorado and that area was the mountain goats. Like I could,
Yeah.
I was driving. I'd never been up there, and I was driving, and I like popped out of a tunnel, and they're standing on like a rock like this big, sticking
Yep.
out of the side, and they're just standing. I'm like, how in the world?
The
Yeah, I
Rocky
thought that was pretty
Mountain
crazy.
Bighorn
Those are
sheep.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, they're stunning. And you know, they're really kind of rare to see. Like I remember I only saw one the whole time we were living in Colorado. Like for me anyway, I was young. Maybe my brother saw them. But yeah, I mean the first time you see them, it's like intimidating. You're like, oh my God, they're so cool.
Yeah, they're neat
So
for sure.
beautiful. Yeah. I love it. Miss it. Thanks guys. Now you made me miss it.
Yeah,
We'll have a
Colorado.
little trip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Colorado is
exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
Bigfoot country, my friends. Bigfoot.
Yeah. We'll do it all. Bigfoot, UFO, and
Family
paranormal.
hotel, get
Ghosties.
some ghosts.
There
Yeah.
you go. Yep. We'll bring our posses.
Exactly.
All right, cool guys. So, if you want to find any of my personal content out there, or any of the stuff that I post, the easiest way is if you just go to my website. It's flaparanormalresearcher.com, and that has links out to all my social media, bios, things like that, YouTube's videos, and of course the Haunted Files and War Party Paranormal. And you can also check warpartyparanormal.com for any of our upcoming public investigations, any events or cons that we're going to be at. So stay tuned for more information on that. And yeah, and thank you for everybody that's watching tonight. And we see some new people here that I haven't seen before, so we really appreciate
Come
you guys.
back.
Make sure you subscribe so you can be
Yeah.
alerted. We're every Monday night, 9 o'clock, we go live. So definitely come back. We appreciate you guys. And that's all I got.
And please check out our Haunted Files on Paraflix. You won't be disappointed. And it's not only us. Yep. I was trying to do like the emoji bit with my hand.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's where it came from, you know.
There you go. We all three of us will do it
Please.
in unison. Anyway, yeah, go check out Paraflix. It's only $3.99. It's really affordable, and we're not the only people on there. They got amazing shows. If you love the paranormal, you love horror movies, check them out. It's a great deal. People there are awesome. And me personally, you can find me at Ghost Hunter of South Florida on IG, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and more importantly, follow War Party Paranormal. If you go to our website, warpartyparanormal.com, everything's linked there, and also we help people. We're non-for-profit, so if you know anyone locally in Florida, I mean, we'll drive up to North Florida to help someone. So we don't charge a dime, and our main purpose is, to help people. So how'd I do? Did I forget anything? Oh, and I'm sorry we weren't on KGRA. I don't know if some people hopped on over here, but we'll be back on. And I want to apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we had earlier, but it was a smooth ride all the way through. So I think we did good.
Yep.
And Brit,
thank you again, Britt.
Thank you so much.
Your time is valuable, so we appreciate it.
And I mean, you're just down the street from us, so we'll definitely plan something soon.
Please, that'd be awesome. And when I'm allowed to talk about some of the other projects, I'll come back.
You can come back on and promote it.
Awesome. There we go. That'll be a plan.
I love it.
All right. Good night, guys. Keep it spooky, and we'll see you next Monday.
Peace.